Ah, hello. Hello, friends. So I'm looking forward to a chill little coloring session today. If this is the first time you've joined, well, I'm a little bit early, but that's okay. I get all my computer tabs open here. Hi, Instagram. Hi, Tay Molly Water. Okay, should be good. We're set up here. Yeah, so if this is your Pathfinder, I gotta look that up. I love playing games. I've never heard of that one. But yeah, if this is the first time you've joined, I do these every Thursday evening, and they're really chill. Sometimes we chit chat, sometimes we just color in silence, or I put on a little music. And the point of meditative coloring is to just enjoy the moment. There's no expectations, there's no instructions. Although sometimes I talk about what I'm doing, coloring wise, but a lot of times I just get into the flow, and I just enjoy watching the color come out onto the paper. I enjoy the sound of the pencils. Use any color you want, any book you want, any page you want. You can color along with me and do what I'm doing for fun, or you can just do whatever feels right to you. So the point is really just to enjoy the moment and lose yourself, quote, in the art a little bit, just to really relax and flow into it. So I am continuing this page today in Crystal Magic by me, Amy Chesery. And I started this in all browns, as you can see, and I was gonna try to stay with all browns, even though I have like I have some greens out, I have some reds, but I was looking at, this is sort of inspired by Cat's Eye, which is a form of chrysoberyl, and I was looking that up just for some reference earlier today, and there is some beautiful green in chrysoberyl. Hello from Puerto Rico. Nice to see you. So yeah, there's some beautiful kind of brown, green, yellow combos in Cat's Eye and chrysoberyl. So I might add some green anyway, just because I think the look of that crystal is really beautiful when it mixes some green and a little bit of yellow. And then I just did some swatches. I'm using Crayola pencils. I know I've explained this before, but I like to keep it real simple for these demos. I do have, professional grade, more expensive pencils, but I like to use the Crayolas just to demonstrate that you don't need anything fancy to get started. You can use simple pencils and have a great time. Hi, Tina and Emma and everyone else that said hello. Thank you for coming. Okay, so let's get started. And you don't have to do swatches. I like to do it because it kind of helps me as I go to visualize. So there you have it. And I'm just going to go by feel. You do how you like, and whatever feels right to you. I was kind of seeing that the green pop out to me in my reference photo. I just Googled chrysoberyl. So I saw that kind of pop out to me. So that's where I'm going to start. Yeah, it's fun to do. It's fun to do some variation in the crystals. I think that's an interesting look. I'm just going slow with it. I often think about I need to sharpen this one. I often think when I'm doing like crystals with facets like this, I think about the contrast between them. So I'll match a light edge up to a little bit of a darker edge. That really kind of brings light into them and makes them pop a little bit more, but you don't have to. You can do them pretty flat and still get cool results. The example I give of that is like this cover. These are flat. They don't have shading on the crystals. They're just one color with a highlight edge, and they look really cool. It's just a different style. Oh, that just is so nice to add contrast. I hope I'm close enough in here. I could get a little closer with my camera. It's because I'm coloring small things. Let's try that. Give me enough room though with my pencil. My pencil hitting the camera. Oops. Okay, hold on there. Technical difficulties. Dope. Okay. Bear with me. Okay. Oh man. This is why I don't adjust my camera. Okay. Shit. Okay, hold on. I will recover from this somehow. Okay, I think I know what to do. Order a new tripod or gooseneck thing. But until then, okay, I've come up with a solution. Well, I tried. I tried to bring it in closer. And I failed. But that's okay. All right, carrying on. Hi, Patty. What's happening? And then there's some cool reddish browns in there too on the example that I'm looking at. If you have the crystal in real life, which I know Tina, who has joined us, has a lot of these crystals in real life. So that's excellent if you can look at them at samples that you have. But if you don't, you can just Google it. Check it out that way. That's what I'm doing. Thanks, Charla's Beauty Boutique. Mentioned that they like the way that I shade things. I just have fun with it. I have a couple tricks up my sleeve. And then I just apply them over and over. And while this is not an instructive session, I mean, as I said, sometimes I do explain a little bit of what I'm doing. However, I have a course. If you go to coloringbookofshadows.com and then hit courses, It's like over 8 hours long. There's so much stuff in it. And there's like bonus PDFs and like all kinds of cool stuff. And I think it's $25 or something like that. It's on sale. I put it on sale and then I never took it off. And it includes like a couple really cool bonus PDFs, and you will learn a lot of stuff. It's a lot though. It's a lot of videos, like 8 hours, but if you take it slow, you can learn some cool stuff. So I went a little heavy on this, which is fine. However, sometimes you can use a white pen. Oh, that's right. I broke that eraser. This eraser is a little big for what I'm trying to attempt here, but white pen, or you can erase out highlights too. Which is not doing much, but enough to satisfy my eye there. All right. So let's see. Let's do this next big one. I'm going to go for some color variation. I'm seeing like greens and kind of this yellowish brown and some reds in there, like dark orangey reds. So I'll try to work all those colors in and see where we go. Why are you not back into coloring, Patty? Did you have an injury, or are you just not feeling it these days? Because sometimes that happens. I have been realizing how much I miss. Haven't painted in watercolor painted in like I think it's been a couple of months, and I'm really missing it. Just been too busy to get into it right now, but I will pick it up again. The smudgers, yes. Mistress Rice Ball mentions these little smudging tools. What are they called? There's a name for them, like I can't remember. Art. What are they called? I can't remember. But they're basically these little paper rolls that you can smudge. You're not feeling it, Patty. Yeah. Fair enough. But you're here. You're here chilling. Sometimes it's just nice to watch people do art. I enjoy that as well. That's nice. I like how that's looking. Let's see. My reds. Well, let's see. This one's a little bit cocoa. It's kind of a reddish brown. Hello, the Fox Box. Oh, and someone, your name just scrolled by. I'm sorry, I can't see what your name is. Someone just got 3 new books. That's awesome. Thank you. I hope you enjoy them. Yeah, they all have a lot, so like no pressure. I also make my books to be enjoyed in black and white. So like if you just color a few of the pages, This one, Crystal Magic, I've just been doing these 20 minutes a week. And I've got quite a few pages done in a couple months. So sure, it's a little bit slow progress, but I've done all these cool pages. And it was just applying a little bit of consistency over time. So like no reason to feel overwhelmed, or you don't have to get it all done at once. You can just do a little bit at a time. Cool. I really like how that one turned out. This dude up here, this one's cool. I just I feel like I lost some of the contrast, which is fine. But maybe if I take it slow, I can add it back in a little bit, just by darkening a few of the edges. That usually helps. Actually, that helped a lot. And then adding some warm red to it. Okay. Cool. I love the colors on that one. It's really awesome. All right. So let's see. The letter C. Good evening from New Jersey to Foxbox. Let's see. What do I want to tackle next? Not entirely sure. Well, I think I'm going to do these crystals down here, because I'm still debating some of my color choices on the other items. This guy's, I'm going to go more green on this one. And then blend in some brown. You can see how I sort of skipped around on the facets. A little bit of a cheap trick to give depth to it, but that's also how crystals work. It's ultra, and just light in general, when things look really dynamic. The technical term is chiaroscuro, and it means like a heavy contrast of dark and light. And it really adds a lot of life to it. So that was simple but very effective. Cool. Okay, so that kind of gave me a little bit of a more of a feel of how I want the, I think I'm going to do the C in, I was going to make it like this dark cauldron, like the dark cauldron color. Oh, now that I'm at it, I'm going to make this green. Yeah, I wasn't going to add green, but now I'm glad that I did. I think it's cool. I think it works really nice with the browns. And then yeah, so I let this is really pleasing to my eye, so I'm gonna not replicate it, but use it for inspiration. for my letter C. I like the way the green and the brown are sort of playing off each other on these, so I'll keep that going. And part of that was how I like how I mixed in some yellow, so I'm just going to layer yellow over it, what I've already done, in just like a few spots. And then I also like this cocoa brown that I've been using. It's sort of it's a warm brown. It's not the most red brown I've ever seen, but it's a warm brown. So I like how that is working with the green and the yellow. And that to me is a beautiful combination of colors. It's pleasing to my eye. And candle flame. Sometimes I like to leave a big highlight for the candle where the candle is reflecting, and I didn't do that, so I'm just going to erase it a little bit, add it in. Go outside the lines. Do it. Don't let those lines hold you back. But see how cool that turned out? I just kind of colored over it and with the yellow, and it looks like the sea is glowing. Okay. And then let's see, I'm over 20 minutes, but that's okay. I'm having a good time. So I will keep going. And finish some of these up pretty simply, but I know I've seen some people do these small facets with a lot more detail than I'm going to give them, but it's okay. You can do it either way. And I'll go back with a little bit of brown. These are getting really tiny. Oh, and then this guy. Yeah, I am hard to talk and art at the same time sometimes. I am not using my brain right now. I am simply, like I'm not actually thinking about which facets I'm coloring. I'm just sort of muscle memorying it and allowing my pencil to hit where it wants to go. So it's not the most precise method, but it works for me. Especially with these real small things, like some of these the larger pieces I gave it a little more thought, but some of these smaller ones, I just kind of let it rip. And that feels really good to me, like once I'm a little warmed up, to just kind of let it flow. Little shadow on this moon to make it nice and dynamic. And then I have some decisions to make. What am I going to do with that candle holder? I was gonna make it that darker brown. I'm really flip-flopping on it. I was gonna make it like the same as these two cauldrons, but I think I'm gonna give it its own energy here. This cocoa colored pencil has been my favorite of the evening, so I'm gonna use that. So it kind of gives it a warm wood look. It could be like kind of a rusty metal, I don't know. Do the shadowy bits. Leave some highlight. Super light touch. It's one of my favorite things about pencils is like you can go so light. It's like barely making a mark, and then press a little bit harder as it starts to fill in, and then you can it just helps me to like before I commit. You can press really light and be like kind of non-committal is what I'm saying. And then once you're a little more sure, you can just press harder. Okay, that's looking good. And then I'm gonna just take a different dark brown and maybe just add a little bit more shadow into some of the places. But it's looking pretty good to me. That's what I had in mind. Cool. Quite lovely. Okay, almost done. I'm getting there. Okay, so I'm going to mimic that on this candle holder. Just do the same. Cocoa brown. And then like I did the candle glow on this, like I just scribbled that golden yellow color. So I'm gonna leave a lot of white space there. I'm not gonna go over it too much. Just kind of like that. Because it's not the star of the show. It's just an accessory. And then leaves and things. Could be green, but they don't have to be. They could be a mix. It's nice to do leaves in multiple colors because like when you look at leaves, there's usually a lot of variation. Those are calling to me to be darker, so I'm gonna do that. And then add a little bit of green. But I'm liking this mood. Beautiful. I definitely need to order a new tripod. I'm like making it work, but it's getting more wonky every week. Okay. And just finishing up, bring a little more green into these leaves. With an overlap like this underlapping edge, make it darker or something to show variation over the top, and that's how you can like separate the two. Different color or darker. So like these ones, I'll make brown on the bottom, green on the top one. kind of add a little bit of variation to them in that way. And if you do shading, you start to look at the world a little different. Like, look at how light falls on things when you're out in the world. Look at the color variations of different natural objects like leaves and stuff. Rocks and leaves, plants and things. Nature has a lot of variation, which is cool. It's what makes it beautiful, is the whole realm, dark and light and shadow, contrast. Life's a rich pageant, right? Yeah, so again, at this point, I'm not really thinking, it's just, I'm like feeling it. And then we have a pretty cool bunch of leaves there. Let's see. This yellow-green is a real cool, kind of a cool blender between the brown and green. If I get this, I don't know what it's called. Bronze yellow. But whatever. It's a yellowish green, and it's acting as a pretty cool blender between brown and green. So that's like a cool bunch of leaves with a lot of variation there. Okay, and I'm almost done here. I know I've gone over time, but that's okay. If you need to hop off, you can hop off. But I'm having fun, so I'm going to keep going until I'm finished. Darken some of these. I lost a little bit of my contrast, so I'm just going to add some dark. Some depth. Okay. Then these little guys I usually just do super quick. Literally just scribbling brown, green, and this bronze yellow, this greenish yellow, kind of all mixing them all up. And then it looks like I did it really fancy. But I'm being very non-precise there. I'm even kind of just going out of the lines, adding a little bit of this color where I feel like it wants to be. This bronze yellow is doing it for me right now, I guess. I think it adds a nice warmth. It's a warm brown, but it adds a nice, I don't know. I just want to scribble this all over the paper. So I'm doing so. But that, see, like that looks like I got all fancy and I knew what I was doing, but really it just felt right in the moment. So I'm an artiste. That's the joy of it for me, is like when it suddenly takes on that life of its own, it feels, I don't know. It's just, that's just a joyful moment for me. And you probably didn't notice because you're not in my mind, but like when I started this evening, I was trying to be a little more careful and using my brain, like trying to think about what I was doing when I did this crystal. And it turned out good. It's nice. Like it works with the page. But I feel like once I kind of let go of my thinking and allowed myself to flow a little bit more is when I did the parts of the page that I think have more life to them. So just something to think about. Sometimes we hold ourselves back by thinking a little too hard, overthinking, and it's good to just let it flow. But it's part of the process too. Like, I can't really get to the flow state without that initial warm up. So let's see, what have we got here? Thank you, Faradini. Faradini says it looks awesome. I think it came out really cool. Similar color scheme all along it, but there's life and variation. And most importantly, I had a lot of fun. So I could keep going. There's always more to do, but I will, let's talking myself in and out of it. Keep going, don't keep going. Maybe just color a little bit out of the box here. But not much. Probably just leave it at that. Beautiful. Well, that was really fun. I love the way the green and the yellow mix in with the brown. Yes, yes, yes. So I'm going to post this in my group on Facebook, the Coloring Coven, and then feel free to post your coloring too, or you can tag me on Instagram. I'm trying to share more stuff that people colored again, and I used to do that a lot, and I got out of the habit. But yeah, thank you for joining me. That was a lot of fun. Come back next week. I'm going to start on this calcite page. So we'll see how that goes. I don't have any ideas for it yet, but each page has turned out different, and I've tried new techniques and learned different things on each one. It's been really fun so far. And like I said, I've been doing this only 20 minutes a week for a couple of months, but only 20 minutes a week. Ooh, this might be my new favorite. I know I said that on the last page, but I'm loving this more neutral look. And then commercial time. On Tuesday, the 12th, these two beauties are officially out. They're actually, I just put them up on my website, shop.coloringbookofshadows.com today, and they're on Amazon, I think. So Moon Magic is the Coloring Book of Shadows version. And this is it's sort of a re-release of the 2023 moon-themed planner. So some of the art is directly from that, and the spells and some of the symbolism are directly from that, but some of it is like I reformatted it. Like the art was more spread out in the planner, single-sided except for the intro. I'll show you that in a second. But like I compiled the mini spells onto these pages, so they're like more full pages of spells and symbolism. And then it goes through all the phases of the moon. All the phases of the moon. And then the introduction has, when I designed it, it had a lot of these 2-page spreads like this. And I didn't want to undo those. So what I did is I put these pages with very small margin illustrations in between. So the introduction is basically these 2-page spreads with these kind of blank pages, but they have small margin, just small illustrations on the back. So it's still kind of like a single-sided print. If you use markers or something, it makes it a little easier. Just put scrap paper. But anyway, so that's the Coloring Book of Shadows version. It's really cool. I love how these symbolism pages turned out. They've got a lot of interesting witchy things to do. And then Charla's Beauty Boutique. What do you put in the blank space? Yeah, it's for your notes. It's for, like, especially with the moon, but all of them. Like, there's a lot of art in my books, and there's a good amount of words, and I research what I do right and put a lot of symbolism in them, but there's so much more to explore, and I really firmly believe that magic is a very individual practice. So with the moon, there's space to add how you feel during the moon phases, like how you experience the moon phases. Your own spells, your own symbolism. It's really just room for you to take that further, because we're all going to experience it differently. We're all from different parts of the world. This is the full color one. It's the same information as the black and white one, and it's same to similar art, but this one's the full color, which is moon. But yeah, the notes, and there's note space in this one too. It's less, but what are your new moon intentions? What symbolizes the new moon to you? What spells and actions feel right to you during this moon phase? Like the full moon, some people like to rest, some people have a lot of energy, sometimes it depends. Like, what do you experience while performing this spell? So the space is really for you to just write about your experiences, because that's like really when the magic happens. You can read about it, and like I read a lot about magic. I recommend you do. However, putting it into practice, like actually doing it will give you things to write about. Like you will have that experience firsthand. So that's what the space is for. Yeah, the prompting questions, I just added a little bit, but it's just like, what do you experience? What is your intention? What does it symbolize? They're simple prompts, but it doesn't have to be complicated to be very powerful, Like sometimes those questions that are a little more, I'm not even going to say they're simple, but yeah, it can be, what do you experience while performing this spell? That's a powerful question. So yeah, so these are going up now. My website, they're available now on shop.coloringbookofshadows.com. I love this one. I love these colors. These full moon spells. This one came out so beautiful with like the purple and blue, the moonstone. So space to write your experiences and your own symbolism and your own workings. These darker and waning moons were really fun to do too. Just to add different colors and just feel into the different energies. And I'm going to do a live, I think, next week. The official release date is the 12th, but I think probably like, I don't know, Wednesday or Friday or even next weekend, I'll schedule a live where I go through these in more detail just to show you. I love this one. Next week, after the actual release, I'll do another live. Just didn't feel like doing it this week, but we'll get to it soon, and I'll schedule that, and I'll show you these in more detail, even though I just went through it a lot. It's kind of fun to look at. Cool. Okay. So thank you for joining me. I hope you had fun coloring. Yeah, tag me on Instagram if you colored something, or post it in the Facebook group. And I'm going to post my finished page. And I hope you'll join me next week. I had a great time. It was fun to hang out. Thanks a lot.